Richard, we got to talk about the Washington Commanders and the New York Giants. I mean, there's a lot of question marks around this New York Giants team, as there should be, namely at the quarterback position. A guy you played with for a number of years, Russell Wilson, steps under center for the New York Giants. Not that great of a game, a little bit underwhelming. I guess what you would expect to see from Russell at this point in his career, but it seemed like he was a bit conservative with the football. Didn't give his team a whole lot of chances. They ended up losing 21-6. Russ goes 17 of 37 for 168. That is an abysmal performance for Russell Wilson. I got to hear your thoughts, man, as he steps into the reins in New York.
Now, you knew when and people will keep, they feel how they feel about how I feel about Russell Wilson. I just tell the truth, guys. There's not an emotional aspect of it to me that people think. He just hasn't played well within these systems with these new teams, and it's fine. But this offensive line didn't give him a lot of time today. They didn't get it wasn't a great opportunity for him to have success. I thought the Washington Commanders did a great job with coverage, exotic looks, putting pressure on him. They also controlled the clock. They ran the ball well. But I thought he was conservative with the football. He didn't want to push the ball down the field unless it was an obvious one-on-one situation with neighbors. I thought he looked like he normally looks. He checked the ball down and looked for yak. They tried to throw some screens and things like that, but I didn't think he wanted to put the ball in danger very often. I don't think he took a lot of quote-unquote risks that would have given his team a chance, would have given him a chance to turn the ball over or given his team a chance to make a huge play. He was 17 of 37, so they threw the ball a lot. He didn't complete a lot of those passes, obviously. He was only sacked twice, but I thought there were other opportunities he had to be sacked where, he either got out of it or threw the ball away or something like that. But I think they're going to have to make a decision on whether they want to put Jackson Dart in and start letting him develop. I know they don't feel great about this offensive line, but Jackson Dart was very productive in the preseason. He looked like a guy who executes the offense really well, and you just don't want to fall into too deep of a hole during the season where where the rest of the team start to say, hey, this is just another bad season, and start mailing it in. You're 0-1. You still got a chance. You still got confidence. You still have a really good defensive line that I thought could have played better, but you were going against a team that played in the NFC Championship last year in the Washington Commanders. They have a really good defense. They're really talented. They're really veteran. I thought Lattimore is a good player. Obviously, our guy, friend of the program, Bobby Wagner, one of my best friends, is playing really good football still to this day. Deebo Samuel.
Love to see it.
Tyshawn had a rushing touchdown, 19 yards for this team. He was their leading receiver in this game. I thought he had a tremendous impact and did everything he could. Obviously, you could see the rust there for Terry McLaurin, his connection with Jaden Daniels, but I thought Jaden Daniels played a really good game, was accurate, and made great decisions. 68 yards rushing, was in command of it. But I think in order for them to take the next step, you're going to have to see if Jackson Dart is the guy. I know you brought Russ in because you weren't sure what you're going to get in the draft and who you were going to get, but I think with Malik Neighbors, and you could see his frustration on the sideline during this game, something is going to have to change.
100%.
If you're just going to have to tell Russ, hey, you're going to have to put the ball up. You're going to have to give him a shot. You're going to have to keep giving him opportunities and push the ball out. You can't just throw it away or hold on to the football. You got to give these guys a chance, win or lose. This isn't going to be a great offense with him playing in a conservative way like he has. When you have a generational defense or a phenomenal defense like he's had in a lot of the games that he's won, then sure, you can play not to lose the game. You can play, check the ball down, few big plays here, and then in the fourth quarter, take a few shots and still win the ball game. You can turn the ball over, still depend on your defense and win the ball game. But when your defense isn't playing well or you don't have the weapons, they're going to need him to elevate this team more. They're going to need him to take those opportunities and really showcase his talent, to elevate them, showcase his connection with neighbors, to really elevate this team and to win games like this. I thought they stayed stuck around in this ball game. It was 6-14 for a really long time. I mean, their defense kept them in it, and their offense just never made the plays necessary. They kept sticking around. And if you would have looked up and saw 6-14, 6-14, 6-14, like, hey, they can just make a play somewhere and you can win this game. And I thought they could possibly steal one on the road in Washington, but I think if it happens like this again next week, I think they're going to have to make a decision to go with Jackson Dart, because
They're going to have.
how much time does Daboll have left?
He's got very minimal time left. That's the reality of it. I mean, you look at the performance Daniel Jones had today in Indianapolis. If he were at the helm at New York, I mean, in this game, because the defense gave him a shot, only giving up 21 points. And like you said, they were in it. It's not like they were out of it. If you had a more competent, and that's why I love the Jameis Winston signing this offseason. I know the guy's got a lot of quirks, but I loves me some Jameis Winston. I would not mind him at all in Detroit as a backup quarterback. The reality is this guy gives his receivers ample opportunity. Whether it ends up in the opposition's hand or not is a story that, he probably doesn't want written. But I promise you, I think Malik Neighbors would prefer him at quarterback. I'm telling you that if you ask Malik Neighbors who he wants at quarterback, I would assume it would be Jameis Winston, because he gives these guys opportunities. And that's what I think the New York Giants need. They need someone who's going to give their receivers, give their skill position players an opportunity. And I just don't know if Russell's the guy.
They're not good enough to play the brand that Russell plays.
Exactly.
They're not a good enough team. They to play the brand that Jameis plays. They're fine, because it's going to be a feast or famine. Like, he's either going to throw for 304 TDs and everybody's going to eat, or he's going to throw 5 interceptions. You're going to lose anyway by 3 touchdowns. And it is what it is, but your receivers are going to get opportunities. The ball is going to be pushed down the field. The offense is going to be executed. The risks are going to be taken, and you're going to see that. I don't know what you're going to get out of Jackson Dart. He's a rookie. He played well in the preseason. He executed the offense in the preseason, but the regular season could be totally different. But I don't think playing a conservative, hey, we're going to check the ball down, I'm going to throw it to the swing, and he's going to get me 5 or 6 yards. If we got Malik Neighbors one-on-one, I'll put it up. But if he's not one-on-one, I'm probably not going to try it. Like, I don't think with a team like this who need a boost, that's going to get it done.
No, it's not. Let's talk about the Cardinals. There's not much to talk about here. They played the Saints. I don't know what to expect of the Saints. They kept it somewhat close. They had an opportunity down the stretch to tie the game up late and naturally didn't. The Cardinals go on the road, get a win. Kyler Murray looked somewhat impressive, albeit his stat line didn't look great. I know he was sick coming into this game. Marvin Harrison Jr. finally looked like he was a top 10 pick that he was. Your thoughts on this Arizona Cardinals team, especially in the NFC West division? Do you have any, hesitation when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks? What is this opposition like in the Arizona Cardinals?
Well, I mean, I like the Arizona Cardinals and what they do defensively. I mean, I just think the Saints aren't a great team right now. A lot of people have them picking in the top of the draft next year, which means they're having an awful season. So a 20-13 ball game against the Saints, when the Saints had a chance in the red zone to tie this game at the end of the game, I don't know if you feel great about it. Kyler Murray was sacked 5 times. Marvin Harrison made some huge plays, and you feel great about that. Budda Baker, their most consistent player over the years, continues to be that. I don't think this game really gives us much about who the Cardinals are. We're going to see them. We're going to have to see them in the division versus the Rams, versus the Seahawks, versus the San Francisco 49ers for us to really assess how strong this team is. But a win is a win in the National Football League, and they won this game. They found a way to get it done. But I don't think this game told us anything.
And then we got to look at the LA Rams. I mean, they get the win, albeit in, nothing flashy. Or flashy. I mean, they won 14-9.
Flashy.
Puka Nakua got absolutely smoked. And so did Devontae Adams. I mean, you saw that hit with Derek Stingley Jr. just getting bent over. And it was just a nasty, gruesome hit. You got to look at it and see this Rams team and say, wow, we're lucky to even walk away from this game with both of our top wideouts still able to play next week. It's a big win for them. The grand scheme of things, the Houston Texans are no easy opponent, and they get a home win against them. Your thoughts on Stafford? A relatively impressive game, 245 yards passing with a touchdown. Puka Nakua, 10 receptions for 130 yards. Your thoughts on this LA Rams team?
Well, anytime you have Stafford out there, you're going to have a chance. But I thought they battled. I thought this was a gritty, grimy game where they had the scratch and claw, but it just shows their poise, their mettle um, against a Houston Texans team that is expected to be really competitive on the AFC side. A really good defense, really great defensive line and pass rush. They got 3 sacks today. A quarterback who's considered one of the top in the National Football League, at least the top 10 quarterback in the National Football League, and they held this team to 9 points. They held him to 9 points. They held Stroud to 188 yards passing, no touchdowns, an interception, and they sacked him 3 times. I think you have to give this defense a lot of credit. And the interception, I mean, by Durant, it was incredible. I don't know if you saw it, Mitchell, but it was a sideline grab, barely got his feet in. It looked like the receiver might have caught it. He took it off the receiver's hands. It was a beautiful play. But you got to give this defense a lot of credit. They weren't expected to be anything super special. Their D-line has a lot of talent. Obviously, Jared Verse is a household name these days. And again, they gave the Philadelphia Eagles all they could handle in that divisional game in the snow in Philadelphia. And if it wasn't for Jalen Carter and the play he made at the end of that game, we may have been having a different NFC Championship game between the Washington Commanders and the LA Rams, and who knows how that would have went and how the Super Bowl would have changed accordingly. But it didn't. But you're just talking about how competitive this team is. You talk about how great Sean McVay and their defensive coordinator Chris Shula have been in just maximizing the talent that they have. And I think that's what that's what defined this game. Stafford continues to find a way to get things done, but that defense is really what won this game.